Information tonight about a two-state crime spree that ended in Lincoln County. How police say they tracked down a man they call dangerous.
Why a Kentucky state senator charged with DUI now says he's withdrawing his request to dismiss the charge.
A Facebook page urges folks to boycott this shelter, but the director here says don't believe it.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News at 11.
Good evening. Thanks for watching tonight. After days on the run, a man wanted for a crime spree in Kentucky and Missouri has been arrested. But it came after police say he kidnapped a teenager and stole a Jeep this afternoon.
Police arrested Robert Caldwell in Lincoln County this afternoon. The sheriff says this is a picture of Caldwell in custody. The FBI had been looking for him after a kidnapping in Kansas City last week. Kristen Kennedy has our top story at 11.
Investigators say Robert Caldwell stole a mail carrier's Jeep outside a home in Casey County, forced a 13-year-old to get into the Jeep with him at gunpoint, and then led officers on a wild ride spanning several counties. Deputies in Lincoln County chased the Jeep down Highway 27.
I happened to look up the road, for traffic, and here come this white Jeep just flying.
Gary Keith watched from a nearby intersection.
Cop car behind him. He locked it up, slid around in front of me, and took out a bunch of signs over here, went up through a yard, and tore that yard all to pieces.
Mom Casey Ruckle was driving into town with her 3 kids in tow.
The guy hit the brakes, and he was right beside our vehicle. And as soon as he hit the brakes, there was smoke coming out of his tires because he was going so fast. And so he turns, and he actually hits the grass here and hit a sign, knocked over a sign.
The sheriff says Caldwell was so desperate to get away that he drove the car over this edge and ended up wrecking in the creek.
He wasn't going to give up, nor were we going to give up.
Sheriff Kurt Folger put a cuffed Caldwell into his unit and waited for the FBI to come and question him.
He was pretty muddy, and we were too.
Tuesday's chase ended a 5-day hunt for Caldwell. Police in Kansas City, Missouri say he and another person kidnapped a 67-year-old man and stole his van. The FBI fugitive is facing local, state, and federal charges. In Stamford, Kristen Kennedy, WKYT.
And state police say that 13-year-old involved was released a short time after being abducted and was found unharmed.
The request sparked some controversy. Last week, the attorney for a Kentucky state senator charged with DUI asked the judge to drop the charge. State Senator Brandon Smith's attorney cited a more than 100-year-old Kentucky law. But tonight, Smith says he's changed his mind about the request. Jordan Valines is at the live desk with the update. Jordan?
Hey, Sam, tonight we spoke with Senator Brandon Smith at a forum in Prestonsburg where he told us that he's contacted his attorney asking him to withdraw the motion initially made. He says the law that the motion was based on was put in the books for a reason, but the reason was not to help lawmakers get out of trouble. On the very first day of the 2015 legislative session,
DUI is serious. I mean, this is something that's very serious.
Senator Smith was charged with a DUI in Frankfort, just miles away from the Capitol building itself.
My whole life has been spent here in the mountains, and we've seen this kind of stuff, and to be, have this thrown on you and be automatically assumed guilty is tough.
According to Smith, the feedback he's received from the public on this decision hasn't been the most positive.
This thing has clearly been taken in a different direction from what we wanted. We wanted to remove that from doubt, and we wanted to set a very high standard about how this thing goes forward.
On Tuesday morning, he asked his lawyer to withdraw the motion to dismiss the charge based on a section of the state constitution which bans lawmakers from being arrested except for certain offenses while the legislature is in session.
We don't want to be associated with anything with lowering the bar for us or somehow getting out of guilt just simply by a privilege rule. So we're just asking him to withdraw it. So we can go forward with everything and like I said, just let the people see.
Smith says as this process goes forward, he feels confident that the system will rule in his favor. Now, Smith says he's received threats and that this entire ordeal has been embarrassing and difficult for he and his family. At the live desk, Jordan Valines, WKYT.
Smith represents the 30th district, which covers much of southeastern Kentucky.
We are tracking the investigation into a bar fight that reportedly involved an EKU football player. Police say it happened Saturday night at Jersey's Lounge and Dance Club in Richmond. Investigators say they were just informed yesterday about the fight, and they're still looking into what happened. Police have not made any arrests. Richmond police did tell us tonight the fight involved football players of two different teams, but they would not say which teams. Our news partners at the Herald Leader report the injured player is EKU offensive lineman Colton Scurry. The newspaper reports Scurry's father told them he has a broken nose and facial fractures. In a statement, Eastern Kentucky University said investigators are looking into the incident. EKU also said it may be related to a reported assault at Telford Hall Sunday morning.
After some rounds of snow the last week or so, we are getting a break from the wintry weather, but don't expect it to last too long. Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey has an early look at the forecast. Well, at least one more day?
Yeah, one day. That's pretty much it. One and done for the break. And you know what? It's a very cold break that we're getting out there tonight, Sam. Wind chills are down into the low teens into parts of central and eastern Kentucky. It feels like it is 12 degrees right now in Lexington, Mount Sterling, and unlucky 13, a little warmer across southern Kentucky where the winds aren't as gusty. Current temperature is actually down to 22. That's the air thermometer. 21 degrees showing up into Mount Sterling and Moorhead. Most areas will bottom out into the teens early tomorrow. Still dealing with a little bit of cloud cover across the western parts of the area and into far eastern Kentucky, though the majority of the central and eastern parts of the Bluegrass State with a mainly star-filled sky that is out there. What about your Wednesday forecast? Up and at 'em tomorrow morning with teens showing up. Gusty winds may make it feel a little colder than that. Quick rise toward the freezing mark at noon. The big deal tomorrow, the sunshine that will be returning in all its glory through the better part of the day. High temperature topping out with 40. You'll see some clouds, though, by late afternoon. That sets us up for a little clipper on Friday, but I'm looking towards Super Bowl Sunday. Guys, and the potential for some snow. We'll detail that forecast when I come back in less than 10 minutes.
Workers at the Pulaski County Animal Shelter have a message tonight. Be careful what you read on social media.
Someone has set up a Facebook page asking people to boycott the shelter, but the shelter's director says that page is filled with lies. Garrett Weimer has the story new at 11.
The two hallways that we have leading back to the back doors. And
This is the Pulaski County Animal Shelter. This is not.
anybody that even comes up here regular knows that that was not our shelter.
But those lines were blurred when a Facebook page urging folks to boycott the shelter posted the picture to its profile.
It was disturbing that someone could stoop that low to do something like that.
A quick Google image search, I looked up animal shelter conditions and...
Oh my gosh, there it is.
The original picture comes from a news station in Milwaukee. On their website, you'll find it in a slideshow of a Wisconsin shelter shut down for bad conditions.
We don't have $1 million facility, but we have a clean shelter, a shelter that I am proud of. We work very hard to keep our shelter clean and to save as many animals as we can.
I messaged the Facebook page, but the page's administrator did not respond to my request for comment. Still, the shelter's director is worried that people will believe it.
The people that done this is just hurting the animals. It's not hurting us, they're hurting the animals because it's going to keep them from being adopted or rescued.
Saying that picture and the other posts are just lies. In Pulaski County, Garrett Weimer, WKYT.
Bray says if you have any doubt, she invites anyone to come to the shelter and see it for yourself.
Police in Lexington are looking for anyone at a weekend concert who may have seen a shooting. It happened early Sunday morning inside a facility on Floyd Drive. Rapper Kevin Gates was performing there at the time. Lexington police say someone fired shots and someone was hit in the leg. The victim had non-life-threatening injuries. Police say they also want to talk to Gates because they think he may have had a good vantage point to witness the shooting.
A well-known Kentucky lawyer is recovering tonight from injuries he received in an accident. Police say Daryl Isaacs was riding his bike last week in Louisville when a car hit him. They say the driver of the car couldn't see Isaacs because of the sun's glare. Isaacs has been in the hospital since the Courier-Journal reports he is now in fair condition. Isaacs is known as the heavy hitter and the Kentucky Hammer in his commercials.
We do have a few school closings and delays to pass along tonight. Franklin County schools are closed tomorrow because of some water main problems in Frankfort. Lincoln County schools are also closed tomorrow. Clay, Knox, and Leslie counties are all on a 2-hour delay. Go to WKYT.com for the latest closings and delays.
Follow WKYT online at WKYT.com. Join the conversation on Twitter and become a part of the WKYT Facebook family.
Tonight, much of New England is still dealing with a blizzard that's already dumped more than 30 inches of snow in some places.
That storm also brought hurricane-force winds and pounding surf to the New England coast. Winds damaged some of the homes. In the Boston area, many roads are still closed and power outages have been reported. A person from Kentucky who now lives in Massachusetts told us she can't leave her home.
Here, I mean, our road is completely snowed over. It would be impossible for me to leave even if I, did lose power.
Thousands of flights have been canceled because of the blizzard. It's expected to be a few days before full service can be restored.
Students at Harrison County High School are remembering a classmate killed in a crash. That crash happened yesterday on US 27 in Pendleton County. Investigators say Harrison County senior Bradley Beagle lost control of his car and crashed. He was seriously injured, but investigators say a passenger, Harrison County senior Darren Williams, later died from his injuries. Grief counselors were on hand at the school today.
Former Morgan County Judge Executive Tim Conley learned today he'll spend more than 7 years in prison. A federal judge sentenced Conley today in a corruption case. Investigators say he rigged bids on Morgan County bridge projects and received more than $100,000 in kickbacks. During his sentencing, a tearful Conley apologized, saying he made a bad choice. But he had little to say to our Sean Moody as he left the courtroom.
Mr. Conley, is there any statement you'd like to make to the people of Kentucky or Morgan County?
Not at this time.
Okay. Do you feel the punishment is just?
Not at this time. I just want to go home, guys. Just let me go home and be in peace.
The judge also ordered Conley to pay $130,000 in restitution to the state and Morgan County. Conley has to report to prison by March 24th.
Hundreds of people gathered today to say goodbye to former Senator Wendell Ford. His funeral was held this morning in Owensboro. Ford died last week at the age of 90. Vice President Joe Biden and former President Bill Clinton were among those at the funeral. Those who knew Ford say he was a friend of the common man.
He was every man. He was a man of a common person. He was a person who always had Kentucky on his mind.
Ford was laid to rest this afternoon during a private ceremony.
Tonight, the Lexington Fire Department has a warning about a scam targeting pizza restaurants. Firefighters say someone pretending to be a firefighter called the Pizza Hut on Sarin Drive, asking the restaurant to donate pizzas so they could be given to a family in need. But firefighters say this man has nothing to do with the Lexington Fire Department. They say when they ask for donations, it's clear who they are.
If we do show up in person, we show up with paperwork, with our credentials, in uniform, so they know who they're talking to. They know they're talking to a Lexington Fire Department employee.
Investigators say the same person has also tried to use that scam with other pizza restaurants in Lexington.